And welcome back. Thank you all for subscribing to the channel and giving me all those likes. Very, very much appreciated. This week's episode is going to be about Kay got invited to a private party down in one of the hangars on the at Meacham, where we're located. So we're going to cover that. Had some questions about the aircraft's flight characteristics, which I'm not a pilot, so I got with our chief pilot, and he's going to answer some questions here in just a moment. And then you'll see us roll Kay out to the party, which is doesn't always go out as planned. Anyway, here we go. I'd like to introduce the chief pilot for the aircraft, and he's going to introduce himself, and we're going to answer some questions that you all have had.
All right, this is Jim Reynolds, PGM Aviation. We've been flying K now since 2017. Before that, I also had experience in other A-26s, night mission for the CAF. So about 10 years that I've been aviating in one of these A-26s. We have some questions today. Lefty has given me, y'all have, about the handling qualities of the A-26, and so we'll try to address those today for you.
Okay, first question was they had some questions about just general details of the flight qualities of the aircraft.
It handles very well. In fact, you have to remember it is a bomber, not a fighter, because that's how well it handles. Very easy to fly as far as the controls are concerned. Bit more management involved with two engines with this kind of horsepower. They could develop, if we had 145 octane fuel, 2,500 horsepower apiece. So we're still getting somewhere around 2,300. And if one should fail, like on takeoff, that would be a problem. Now, will it fly on one engine? Yes, as long as we have at least 125 knots. That's the minimum safe single engine speed. Below that, we would have to pull the power back on the good engine. We could probably still gain our airspeed back and make it fly. So we can do some other things. If we had to, we could punch the ordnance off the wings, lighten the airplane, cut the drag, and I'm pretty confident that it would fly out in most situations.
Okay, one of the questions kind of relates to that is, does it yaw on takeoff?
Does not. The way the rudder trim is set and so forth, if you got the power even on both sides, it does not yaw.
What about stalls?
Mostly very benign. Again, as long as both engines are running. And when engine's not running, then it tends to roll over on its back. So that's not a good thing. One has to control that with a lot of rudder power. Back in the day, if you had the capability of making the full 2,500 horsepower, it would take nearly 300 pounds of force on the rudder pedals to correct that if you lost the engine at something less than 125 knots.
Okay. Another question was getting to max speed / ceiling.
The max speeds only can be chained. That's 335 knots. You can only do that in a shallow descent. You can't do it in level cruise. We can get it up to about 260 in level flight, 260 knots. If we had the ordnance off, we could go a little bit faster.
What about ceiling height?
The airplane was designed not only as an attack bomber, but also for reconnaissance. It could carry a whole bomb bay full of cameras, also up in the nose. It was intended to be able to go to 30,000 feet. It has an oxygen system. We have not hooked that up because the bottles would not pass static inspection. So we use portable oxygen bottles if we need it, but we typically operate somewhere below 15,000 feet. But it only would do that if we were going over the Rockies or something, like going to Great Falls on July 22nd, coming back over Yellowstone on the 25th. We'll be using oxygen for the whole crew at that point.
Okay, and last question was, how does she handle with full ordnance? Now, we need to preempt that we don't have heavy ordnance, but I guess we have drag, perhaps?
We do have drag, and it's about 800 pounds of ordnance still on the wings,
Okay.
and so that is kind of significant. You're planning a takeoff or a landing. We had to take it off to go to Chickasha, Oklahoma, a couple of weeks ago because of the weight and also the drag to make it into their short runway.
Right.
So it slows us down somewhere around 25 to 30 knots.
Wow. Okay.
At cruise. Instead of, we file a true airspeed of 210 knots without the ordnance, 190 with it. So it doesn't change the handling qualities at all. Our airplane has what's called gap seals on all of the flight controls surfaces, the ailerons, elevators, and rudder. Not all A26s do that, but ours do, and it makes the ailerons feel like they got power steering on them.
Oh, okay.
I've flown, the night mission does not have them on the ailerons, and it's like driving a truck without power steering.
Okay.
So it makes a world of difference, and it was always intended all the A26s have these gap seals. They're hard to come by, and so not everybody does it.
Okay, and one last question is, Hula Girl, what is she for and what does she do besides
Well,
look pretty?
That is not a Hula Girl. That is our engine vibration monitor.
Ah, okay.
If the engines are misbehaving, like for example, a cylinder went out or was misfiring, spark plugs, and she would really shake, and we would know something's up.
Okay, so she's a precision instrument.
She is precision, finely tuned.
Okay, great. Hey, we appreciate your time. We know you're busy and we're going to let you go. Thank you very much, Jim.
Thanks, Lefty. Good to talk with you.
You gotta watch that forklift over there. Hey!
Okay, I'm going to do a voiceover, explain what we're doing. We're pulling Kay out of the slot. She's parked in. She's kind of parked in the back corner. We're going to taxi her out and get on the active taxiway with support from the airport and take her down to the hangar where the party's going to be. They needed a pretty airplane to as a backdrop, and they selected Kay. So that's what this rollout is all about. We do have wing walkers. They're not always in the frame, okay? We have a good team of safety guys around watching everything. We have to watch the wingtips because she's so wide. We have to watch, you know, anybody that might be in the way to actually get them out of the way. And that's what we're doing. So as you're going to see here in a little bit, the taxi out is might be a little bit of a problem. Plus, we have a guest with us today that some of you all might know and recognize, and we'll get back with that in just a few seconds.
Okay, we'll just pull out in the shade and wait.
Okay, I'm going to step back in here and explain what you're about to see. We're going to see some blue smoke at the bottom left of the frame. It's coming from our tug. Kay has her own tug, and this is the one we're pulling with presently, but the blue smoke is not good, obviously. And we're not sure what it is, so in this next clip we're going to be looking to see what it is.
I think it's
It's right there. It's on the notch. Yeah, we're okay. I think we'll be all right. Something's leaking down here, and it's getting on that. Go. One more chalk.
Okay, I'm not sure we actually found the what the problem is, but they're looking, and we're going to try it again. If you look off to the left here in just a second, you'll see another tug. Like I said, Kay has her own tug, and that tug off to the left of the frame belongs to the museum, and one of our guys went and picked it up, and he's going to follow us out as we tow further out and see if we have any more difficulties with our tug. Like I said before, not everything goes to plan, so this is the real deal. You can't make this up. And here we go. Okay, at this point we're scooting down the taxiway, getting an escort as we should. Pan around to the right and see some other hangars down below there. We are cruising at a pretty good clip, and it doesn't work out too good. We started smoking again, and we decided, hey, why? It finally just stopped on us, so we had to pull over, get that tug that belongs to the museum that's following us back there, and hook her up to Kay so we get on over to the hangar where we need to be, and that's what you're seeing.
A lot of airplanes. You sure you want her in here?
There'll be no room for our people.
Pretty. Yeah.
Up the gun bay area so they could see that and see what it's all about. That's a big hit at the air shows on static display. So she's parked where she needs to be, where they want her, and that'll be that until you see her. The next clip, you'll see her early morning the next day, and we've got her back at the hangar getting ready to go in. I want to thank everybody for watching, and be sure to hit that subscribe button if you'd like, and the like buttons if you will, please. It helps the channel grow. And once again, I appreciate every one of you for watching. You all have a good week.